Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live show. I'm your host, Rosvita Herman. I'm a business and somatic money coach. I've been doing this for 11 years, and I'm an expert at tracking nervous system and releasing money blocks from very deep levels like DNA, past lives, soul level, cells, organs, tissues, subconscious, all the things. And every week, I bring on my show amazing humans, other coaches or healers, and we have really honest conversations around their money fears. And we do a somatic practice for everybody to enjoy. And then I release their own money block. So it's a very hands on, very explicit, and also very real because that's what I want to bring more into this world, authenticity and how it really feels to run a business. And we all have fears, we all have doubts, and it's not just for certain people who don't make enough money. Like even people who make lots of money have the same fears and doubts. And I just love doing this. So without any further ado, I cannot wait to have Mary join us. So let me add Mary. Just getting ready until Mary shows up. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
All
hear you
right.
very well.
Awesome. You look amazing.
Thank you. How is your day today?
Fantastic. And yourself?
Oh, well, it's the end of my day, my working day at least. So I'm excited, to finish a very well, let's say, lived day.
Well, I have honestly have not been on a live in so long. It has been, I want to say about 2 years since I even turned on yes, at least 2 years since I turned on that camera and did something live. So this is exciting.
Oh, good for you. It's a new year, a new energy, and new things to do and
Yeah.
do again. So please, Mary, tell us about you. What do you do? Who do you serve? How do you help people? Anything and everything you want to share with us.
Okay, so I am a full-time teacher and a wellness coach, and I help busy moms who are trying to get healthy, lose weight, and take better care of themselves. One of the things that I realized as a mom myself, I spent so much years just prioritizing other people, and I forgot that taking care of myself was important.
Mm-hmm.
It it just never, for many years, it never dawned on me that I was actually doing myself a disservice when I was putting myself last. And so I've been really practicing putting myself first, at least most of the time. And then
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage women, especially mothers, to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And is there like you just coach them through to have to put themselves first? Is that what you do?
Yeah, coaching consists of really looking at their individual circumstances and how to fit and prioritize their health and wellness in the midst of their busy schedule, in the midst of
Mm-hmm.
dealing with dinner, work, um, taking care of the family, and
Mm-hmm.
making sure that they don't neglect taking care of themselves.
And what could you say is the biggest problem these women have that through your coaching they solve?
One of the biggest things that I've realized a lot of women, which like even myself, did not even realize that we were putting ourselves last. Didn't,
Mm-hmm.
we would make excuses for why we couldn't do certain things and not realizing that it was not that we didn't have the time. It's actually we didn't prioritize it. We didn't put it in the schedule. Like a
Mm-hmm.
perfect example, I remember like now I don't do a whole lot of cooking. But I remember when I was like cooking for the whole family, one of the thing is like I wanted to cook something separate for myself. And sometimes like certain things my kids want to eat it. And so what I would do, I would cook and I would cook for everyone. And then by the time I'm done, I'm tired. I don't want to cook myself something different. And so now I figure out how to make sure that if I want to eat something different, how to plan that out so that I can also meet my needs. Or if
Mm-hmm.
anything, I'll cook what I want first. And then hopefully if I if I have the energy, I'll cook yours or you're just stuck eating mine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
see.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So I'm happy that we have someone in this world doing this kind of work and reminding moms that it's safe to put themselves first and how to do that with examples and specific, you know, things like here's how you do it, here's how you go do it. Because sometimes, in theory, I know lots of moms who in theory know they should put themselves first, but in practice, they just never get to actually implement that. So I'm
Yeah.
happy that you get to bring this to the world and to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this being said, what is currently a money fear that you have that it's active in you? Maybe something that got triggered, like something. Why I'm asking this to be active because if it's active and we release it today, your reality will shift and you will notice that. If it's not active, if it's just a random money fear, then you won't notice your reality shifting because it's not something that you're working on. It's still gonna shift, but it's not gonna be important to, let's say, letting go of some fears or some anxiety or some worry in the moment, in the present moment. So I want you to get as much benefit from this in your present moment so that your current reality can shift now, not whatever you're gonna do in a year from now.
I think one active fear is like, especially serving women, serving moms, is really like me thinking, oh, am I charging too much? You know,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes, because one of the thing is we tend to prioritize what is important. So if someone is like, oh, I this is not feasible, I'm learning to understand that it is that person don't see the value in it right now. It's not
Mm-hmm.
feasible. It's just like if I want Starbucks, which is $5 for one coffee, I make it happen. We make what
Mm-hmm.
we want happen. We make what we think is important happen. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, not to minimize my work and not to minimize my value, and to be able to say, you know what, you haven't seen the value, you're not ready, versus me
Mm-hmm.
internalizing that as a lack of me showing value and how I can serve.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of just resolved your own problem. So is this still an active fear? You're charging too much?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, you know what? Look, well, what can we do? What can we do instead of just letting be? And so, yeah, that's definitely an area
So
of improvement.
do you discount your services in that moment?
Sometimes, yeah,
By how much?
it really depends on what the person say they can work with.
Well, give me an example. Give me the last example. Like what happened? Um, in not, you don't have to go really super deep in detail, but at least to have an idea of what happened.
So I remember working with a client, and when I um gave her the price, and she was like, "Oh no, um, that's too much." And then so we came to agreement. It was like so I think at the time it was like 400 a month, and so I agreed, to 200. But then a couple months later, she saved managed to save money to do a procedure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
like, interesting.
But so how did that make you feel?
It was that the person is not the matter of lack of money. That was not what she was willing to pay.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
when you discounted your services to half, because from 400 you went to 200, did you offer the same amount of coaching and everything, or did you change the offer completely?
At the time, I kept it the same way.
Okay, so here is the problem from a mindset and implementation perspective. It's okay if you love a client. Let's say you meet somebody and like they are your ideal client, but they cannot afford your pricing at this moment. But you really want to help them right now because right now they need your support. Like if you help them the next 2 months, they were gonna be in a place where maybe money will be less of an issue or their health
Hmm.
or something. Then you change the offer. So
Hmm.
if let's say, for example, I do the same thing, especially with people who are new to my world. So they haven't built enough trust and confidence in myself, like to make sure that, yeah, if I hire her, for sure I will hit my money goals. So they won't jump into my 16 package right away. they will
Mm-hmm.
start with a smaller package, but that doesn't mean that I discounted my work. It just means that instead of getting all the things that I offer my clients, they will get just part of that. Maybe they will just get a few sessions with me. They will get less bonuses. They will get uh, other parts of my package that would help them in a different way. And then as they see results and they love working with me, after our first container ends, they usually jump into the next container, which is the full version.
Mm-hmm.
So this does not mean we're discounting. This just means we're shifting the offer to meet the client where they're at because they are an ideal client. And the only thing that's stopping them in this moment is to pay full price.
Yeah,
How does that
completely
feel?
understand. Yeah, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. Yeah, so
And
it's
go on.
no, I said it sometimes it's like you said with the mindset we have around our service and money. It alter the way we present or the way um we internalize certain
Mhm.
situations.
And also, uh, when we talk to people who are not our ideal client and they say no or they say they cannot afford it, that's also because they're not our ideal client. And sometimes, most of the time, they're not. Like if I talk to my clients and we look at their objections and all these things, 80%, if not 90% of the time, the people they speak to are not their ideal client. And only the other 20 who say no for the now, they just need an adjustment, like a different offer to meet they where they're at, but not a discounted offer, just a different offer. But everybody else, they're just not their clients. And the moment you're very specific of who do you help, at what point in their life you meet them,
Hmm.
then it's always going to be a yes because they were looking for someone like you and they will make it happen. It doesn't matter how they will make it happen, but they know it's the point of no return. Just like if, God forbid, you get sick or something happens, you're going to figure out how to pay for treatment because it's a
Hmm.
point of no return. You're not going to be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to sit with this illness forever. And I don't know. Like, no, it's going to be like, oh my God, like I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to get a loan. I don't know, I'm going to figure this out because I cannot live like this. Like, this is very important to me. So a
Yeah.
mom who's done with feeling the way she feels and she really wants to change her life and she knows that she's not going to do it by herself because she probably tried that and it didn't work out and she's done with waiting even another month. Like she's done waiting another month. She will be like, I don't know how, but I'll figure out how to pay you. I don't know if I'm going to get a credit card. I don't know if I'm going to ask my husband. I don't know if I'm going to get a part-time job. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out because I'm unhappy and it's life is not worth to be lived this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, having this conversation now, what would you say is your fear? Is it still that you're charging too much, or is it something else similar to this, but a different ones?
Hmm. Guess I never really dig deep to really analyze that. So I believe a lot of times, 'cause, and you have a Tony Robbins, right? He says like you have to go 7 layers deep. So sometimes what you think it is the problem, you have to dig a little deeper. So I don't think I've really taken the time to say, okay, what are all the different layers? But as as a minority and also as a woman, I'm from Haiti, and so it hasn't been. It's been maybe the past like I want to say roughly 6 years, I really started valuing investing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like over the years, I've slowly increased my threshold and the amount of money I'm willing to spend for
Mm-hmm.
myself. And so I think sometimes um when you're not used to spending money or investing in yourself, we're so used to investing in only on the necessities, what we assume to be the necessities. We don't realize that the benefit it is in hiring a coach. And because I have my very first investment in coaching was about 6 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
and now what I'm willing to invest in myself drastically is different. I remember the last investment in myself, I was like, oh. In my, I literally had to have a chat with myself. I had to write things down. I've even went onto Chat GBT and I was like, okay, how like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm doing this investment. How do I need to think about this? Because this is walking in
Stretching. It's
yeah,
scary.
so it's scary stretching. So many of us are not used to investing in
Mhm.
ourselves. So any little things like, oh, but I one of my past coach, she told me that one of the things is working with people that are ready to invest in themselves. And
Exactly.
sometimes when you have certain levels of fears within yourself, because we attract what we are. So I guess I still have certain levels of fear and investment in myself, and obviously I might be attracting people.
I have a different opinion here. Can I
Okay,
share?
okay, go for it.
I don't believe we attract what we are per se, and I don't believe that if we're afraid of investing at a different level, it means that life will mirror us clients who cannot invest in us. Like this is a very like it's a broad topic. I
Okay.
truly believe that yes, our belief in what people can afford or cannot afford is at least 50% of the process for sure. But the other 50% is also understanding how marketing works in business. Like if you in your reality, the people you talk to, the people in your audience tell you that they cannot afford your services, they are not your people. So how you create your content and who you speak to are people who are not your ideal client. That's why it's so important to, when we decide on our
Mm-hmm.
our offer is usually something that really excites us, something that
Mm-hmm.
we've usually struggled with. We overcame that, we saw how we overcame it, and we can do it much faster now with somebody else, because for us it took maybe a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. And plus how much we invested in ourselves to learn, to see things from different perspectives. So we package all that in an offer that excites a past version of us who's like, oh my God, past me would have loved to have this kind of support for her. And
Mm-hmm.
then we match that to a person. We think, okay, what person would benefit the most out of this offer? Like, who are they? At what stage in their life are they? Do they have, for example, in your case, do they have 5 kids? Do they have 1 kid? Do they have, like, does it matter? Like, these are good questions to ask yourself. Then, do they have a husband who provides? Are they also working full time? Are they single moms? Like, again, this matters a lot. Who do you talk to? Then, what is the point of no return for them? Because that,
Mm-hmm.
again, if a lot of people, like even yesterday I had a conversation with someone who before we met was very on, oh, I like ease, I want a simple business, I want, more ease because I got burned out last year and all that. But when I talked to her, she wasn't actually ready to have that reality. She was still doing a lot of things. When I told her that, she got a little bit defensive. So I realized that a lot of people want things, but they're not willing to actually be like, you know what, I really want to implement this. Like I'm done. Like I know my patterns. I've seen how I'm used to doing things, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like I want to change my patterns, because that's the thing. You're helping people change their patterns. I help people change their patterns. It's just in different areas and with different tools. But in the end, we just help people change their patterns so they don't act the same way they used to act until today. And she wasn't ready. Like she didn't really want support. She loves the idea of ease, but she wasn't ready to actually start changing. And those people will never, not never, but will not invest with you in the present moment because they're not ready. They just say they're ready. Just like people who say, "Oh, one day I want to start a business, one day," and but they don't want to start a business. They just love the idea of starting a business. They just love the idea of change, but they don't actually want to change. They don't want to do the work because it's uncomfortable. It's not just about the money. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's challenging. It's just like going to the gym. Like how many people want amazing bodies? Everybody wants an amazing body if they could choose one. But how many people
Mm-hmm.
are willing to actually train for that? Very few. Even if they had the
Yeah.
money, even if they had a coach, if somebody would say, "Hey, I'm paying you to have a fitness coach. Here's the gym. Just go." How many people would be consistent with that? Not many,
No.
because
No.
change is hard, especially when
Yeah.
it's free. it's even harder in a way, because people say,
Mhm.
"Oh, I wish if somebody could just help me for free," or if money were not an object. But if money is not an object, you also don't show up
Mhm.
because nothing, stretches you. When you pay for something, you want to get the benefits of what you
Oh
paid
yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. You pay. They say the more you pay, the more you pay attention because you're like, oh man, I got to get my money worth. This stretched me, so I have to do this, and then that's exactly how I feel sometimes. I'm like, oh man, because I like for example, I do CrossFit, and there's gyms that's only like $30 a month, while I'm paying well over 100, and
Hmm.
so it goes on my schedule regularly. I'm like, oh, I didn't go yesterday. Oh, I gotta make sure I go today. So
Exactly.
it's a priority, and also I'm willing to do the work. And so yeah, and I definitely agree with you. A lot of people are not quite ready. Um they see the desire, but
Hmm.
like my coach, she talks about like there has to be sacrifices. There's a trade off, and many people are not willing to do the trade off.
Hmm.
There's a cost there. That old self there's certain parts of that old self that have to die in order to be able to embody the new self. And that means, like, for example, with let's say meal prepping, my mom does she does most of the cooking now. And so I told my mom, like, oh, I'm so bored of eating some of this food. She was like, well, what else you want? I'm like, you know what, we're gonna cook the same thing. Cook the same thing, because honestly, I'm not even I don't want to buy anything different, because
Hmm.
now I got to start calculating like the
Hmm.
calories, and so I'm already used to certain meals, and I kind of know this, like, this is my maintenance weight. Like I could eat this no matter how
Hmm.
boring it is, but I know that if I don't veer too far off this regimen, I still maintain this weight. Now for me to want to get more creative, that means I had to put the time in and start doing all the extra stuff. And right now I'm gonna eat that boring quinoa and them same boring vegetable
Yeah, yeah,
because
because you need
I'm a,
capacity. You need to have capacity to actually plan and think and make decisions. And a lot of people don't think how much of capacity it takes to make so many decisions every day. And then they wonder why they don't even have more clients, or don't, because they don't have space. They literally don't have space. They have so many things to think of every day that their nervous system is like blocking, quote unquote, clients. And it's blocking because they don't show up, they're not consistent, they don't work on themselves to clarify certain aspects of their business. And that's how they're being blocked. Because, just like you mentioned, even thinking about food, if that's a priority to you, you're going to have to think and have capacity for it, or else that's the cost.
yeah,
So, what were you
no,
saying?
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say to kind of finalize the thing that we started with, you being a match to people who don't invest. The fact that you invested and constantly investing, and you grow your investment year by year, that proves that are people around you who are the same.
Mm.
So you're not just a unicorn. If you
Oh
did
no.
it, there are other people who are ready to do that too. It's just a matter of you guys meeting some way halfway.
Mm.
So now to go back to the fear, because went a little bit deeper. So I want you to maybe even close your eyes if that would help, to say, okay, what's active in you right now then? Because I don't think I'm afraid I charge too much. I think it's something else. But because you've never actually thought of it, and now we discussed it, and I think parts of you are now more aware, what do you think that would be?
Um, sometimes I think to myself, like, attracting the woman, because actually myself, I'm working on being a better client. Okay. And
Okay.
because sometimes I have certain things that I need to do, and I'm definitely not really, to get the transformation that I desire, I'm not going 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like attracting being the best version of client that I need to be, and also attracting that dream client, that attracting that person that is willing to do the work. Because now, and sometimes I find it within myself, we so often want quick fix. We want that instant gratification, and making sure that I attract the right person that I can actually help with the necessary with the transformation. Because not that I don't know what to do, is finding people, the right person that's gonna to be willing to do the work, just like we were talking about willing to do the work. And I've worked with a couple people that will start and then midpoint kind of lose, is not lose interest, but realizing that it's not getting the fast results. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think a part of me have that fear of who who comes up, it comes in my container, and being able to transform them in the level and their level of commitment to be able to see the necessary change.
Okay, so if we were to work on the sphere of my clients don't get results, would that be it? My clients would be disappointed. My clients won't get the result that they could get. What would, or something else?
I mean, something along the line, but really truly getting the transformation to be at the end of, because my program is 16 weeks.
Hmm.
So at the end of 16 weeks to really be able to be 100% satisfied with the end result.
Okay, and if you were to tell me for the people who at the middle of the program kind of didn't show up or dropped down or something, what was their excuse?
I had one person, let's say for example, when we talked about not cooking fried food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her excuse was that that's what her family was used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not willing to, it's like you want a certain level of results, you're seeing a certain level of problem, but being willing to actually do the work, and being willing to do something that you've not done before,
Mm-hmm.
because it's uncomfortable. Because like for example, I had a conversation with my mom, and I'm like, I don't even crave like fried chicken, I don't even crave certain things, because those are not things that are, I don't eat them. I don't go out looking for them. So I don't even think about that. But then when you have somebody that they're used to the fried food, they're used to certain things, getting them to adhere to making those small changes, at
Mm-hmm.
least in my opinion, you're making healthier change that maybe your taste bud might not be crazy
Mm-hmm.
about at first, but you eventually get used to. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that that's an area of growth for me, is really being able to help um, people seeing the value in those small changes that does, because like you said, it is, change is uncomfortable, and
Mm-hmm.
many times we we know we want to lose weight, we know we want to eat healthier, we know we want to fit better in our clothes, because ultimately that is what, it's not only about what's the number on the scale, it's how I feel in my own skin, how I feel in clothes, when how I feel
Mm-hmm.
when I wake up in the morning. But are you willing to make those swaps? Are you willing to make those
And
trade-offs?
can I ask you, what was the suggestion that you gave her? Like, for example, if she wasn't willing to cut fried foods, what was the suggestion, the next better suggestion?
I suggested like air frying, baking,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like for example, um not cutting it back. You know, if you used to have fried food several times a week, cutting it back once a week, every other week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because eventually to really see results and sustain results, there's certain things just gotta go.
Mm-hmm. So when you presented these other options, she still didn't budge.
Well, some of them she did do, but some
Mm-hmm.
of them, I mean, you you only know based on what the person tell you, but some of them didn't didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
so
why do you think it didn't stick?
mm, I believe is not willing to get out of that familiar zone, or not willing to just tell their her children that this is how it's going to be.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
know
that
you're used to this, but you know what, I'm not cooking this, this is just how it's going to be.
here's where I wanted to end up, because it's different when you just have to change yourself. That's already hard. Like change is already hard, but it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to cook for the whole family, then that comes with a huge amount of issues and stress and frustration, because certain kids won't eat anything else. And then your
Mm-hmm.
guilt as a mom would be like, I will just give them this because there's nothing I can do anymore. Or certain husbands would not accept anything else. They would just literally don't accept anything else. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of fighting every day, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. So when you're working with families, because indirectly you're working with families, not just with one person. Like I only work with one person, just with, I don't work with my clients' is decisions only affect them. It doesn't necessarily affect their
Mm-hmm.
families. So their families are
Mm-hmm.
okay. But in your case, it's different. So in your case, you would either probably have to add more support with that. Like, how do you do when your kids won't accept your food? What do you do when your husband doesn't accept? Like, more support with practical and certain advice or how to support them. So that's easy. So whenever I noticed when I ran courses and stuff like that, when I saw that people would not continue, like drop off somewhere, that's when I created bonuses. That's how all my work became with bonuses, because I realized, oh, so for these kind of people, they need this kind of support that in my mind, I never saw it as a problem because I'm not that way. So for me, it's not
Mm-hmm.
a problem. That's why I created the offer. But then I see that for certain people, that is a problem. So let me create this bonus that addresses that problem per se.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a couple of years, as I ran the same program over and over, of course, I gathered a couple of bonuses, and then it met every single concern that people had. So in the end, there was no more issue, unless, of course, they didn't do anything, for them not to complete the program, because they had all these problems that I saw. Found a solution for that, and I offered it as a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, definitely give me something to think about because
Mm-hmm.
um, I knew that working with moms indirectly affect their family, but I didn't realize because even myself, like you get lashback,
Mm-hmm.
from your family, but really making sure that there's strategic support to be able to mediate those lashbacks when they arise. So
Exactly.
it's just like just dealing with certain objection ahead of time. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we know at some point we're gonna encounter this problem. Like, how do we strategically place systems that will be able to deal with that before, like, yeah, so
Or
that's definitely
even as
something.
it shows up, like, oh, I had this issue. I go here, and that's how I deal with it, because Mary thought of it. Not just,
Hmm.
oh, it's just me. Like nobody else has this problem, and people feel left out and feel like ashamed. They don't want to
Hmm.
share that they're fighting with their spouses because of this. They don't want to share that their spouses doesn't want to give up fried food because it's all this, you know, um, worthiness thing. Like you should give that up, and you're a bad person if you don't. So they don't want to share that with other people, because they don't want to be judged. They don't want their husbands to be judged. So there's a lot to unpack. That's why people. So for me, whenever I see people don't do something, I'm like, okay, I know there's an issue that I haven't addressed. So it's also on me to help them halfway. They have to do the work, but it's on me to make it easy for them to do the work, or else they're not going to actually get the best of the results they could get.
Hmm.
So now that we also tackle this, I want us to get into the release. So let's pick a fear, because now we even got even deeper. Let's pick a fear to do a somatic release on. What would the fear be now?
Mm, I don't know.
I know I made you think, and now you're like, oh my God, I'm confused.
Now I gotta think some more. You know, I think in different levels, so many of us deal with fear of rejection, and so
Hmm.
like we talk about internalizing certain things, and so yeah, so that we could that's one. Rejections for rejection shows up in so many areas.
Yes, and
So that.
actually, I just worked on it for myself, because I realized how hard it hit me last week when I was rejected a couple of times, and it took me a few days to get back on the horse. And I was like, I don't want it to take me a few days to talk to people just because a few people rejected me, because the
Hmm.
faster you move, the faster you get to the result that you want. So I was like, I need to analyze this rejection thing. So again, it's no coincidence that guess what fear we're working on live? Rejection.
The- yes, yes. Just like
So go on.
oh no, I said just like we were you messaged me in the right before we hopped on was like following your instincts. So I you said earlier like 90% of the people we interact are not gonna 80 to 90% of the people we interact with are not our ideal clients. So
Mm,
rejection is definitely in this line of work is definitely a high thing. You talk to someone like, nah, not interested. And
mm-hmm,
so yeah, rejection, taking things personally is not a
mm.
reflection of me.
And even if you don't take it personally, for example, I didn't take it personally, but it still meant that, oh my God, oh, I'm so far away from my next client because all
Mm,
these people that I thought they would be my clients, they're not. So
mm,
it can be internalized as a personal thing, or it can just mean, oh my God, I still have to talk to more people and I don't have the energy, or I'm disappointed, or whatever. And the truth is, business is always a numbers game. It doesn't matter
mm,
what niche, what industry, what you sell. It's a numbers game in the end. The more people see you, know about your product or service, the more chances you get to make a sale. But if you don't, then of course you're going to have less chances to make a sale. And it's on us to talk to as many people, do content, be visible, because the more people see us, the more chances of people to actually buy from us or find us. Okay, so
mm,
I love this. So for everybody watching, if you watch this as live or as a replay, and if you most likely have a fear of rejection, let's be honest, because everybody has a little bit. So let's release what wants to be released on a somatic level right now. So Mary, I want you to close your eyes, sit comfortably, focus on your breathing in through the nose,
mm,
out through your mouth, and everybody else do the same. And I just want you to very fast scan your body from head to toe. Just like observe if there's any pain, any tension, for some people, they will see colors or lack of color. Just observe. Just quickly scan, breathe, observe. Don't need to change anything. Don't need to release anything. Don't need to shift anything. We're just here observing and loving on ourselves exactly how we are. And as you breathe and you're in your body, I want you to feel how it feels where your body is touching the chair or the couch or whatever surface you're sitting on. I just want your body to be aware of where your body is touching another surface, maybe the floor, maybe the couch, maybe the bed, maybe the chair, and just observe how does it feel. And allow your body to sink even more into that feeling. Like, oh, I can just sink even more into this chair, or get your arms heavier, or your legs heavier, or your torso heavier, and just allow it to sink in. Like, oh, with every breath, you just sink in even deeper. It's like, oh, so safe for me to sit on this chair. Oh, I can just let go. And as you're breathing and doing this, I want your body to remember how it feels to be unconditionally supported. Because right now, the chair supports you unconditionally. It does not judge you. It does not care how good or bad you've been today, or how much money or how little money, or what you've even eaten today. The chair will offer you the exact same amount of support every time you use it. And you get to be in control. You get to control when to get up. You get to control for how many hours you sit on it. You get to control that you don't no longer like it and you can buy a new chair. So imagine having so much power and so much unconditional support, which is real right now. This is not a made up frequency. You already are experiencing it, and you can experience it many times per day. So I want your body to connect to connect to this feeling, to connect to this vibration that exists already in your life, so it can recognize it and bring it to the surface as often as possible in the future. And just like that, I want your body to remember how does it feel to have complete trust and inner knowing, because right now you safely can keep your eyes closed for as long as it's needed. There's no part of you who's like, oh my God, I need to check every 5 minutes to make sure I open my eyes, to make sure I'm safe, to make sure this room is still here, the chair is still here. Like, this is nonsense. You're like, of course the chair will be here. Of course I can keep my eyes closed. Of course I'm safe. Duh. So, this inner knowing, this inner trust, this inner faith, where does it come from? And how does it feel to have it? How does it feel to just know this, to have this certainty? Because as you feel this now with this example, you can feel it in the future with other examples. And we can nurture this vibration so we can have it and feel it more than once. We can feel it every day, we can feel it multiple times a day, but it's important for your body to just be aware of it right now. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine a big, beautiful table in front of you. And I want you to decorate it. Add whatever candles, flowers, balloons, foods, drinks. Go nuts. It's your party. You're the guest, the primary guest, and you get to have the best party ever. And let me know when the table is done, when everything is decorated and we can start.
Right.
And now I want you to time travel a little bit and allow all the memories that want to be here, that want to be released, that feel safe to be released today, where you were rejected. So let's go in your first 5 years of age and invite to the table all these memories just like they would be people. And let me know when all the memories from inception till you were 5 are here at the table.
Okay.
And now go from 5 to 10. All the memories where you were rejected that want to be released, allow them to come at a table.
All right.
And now invite all the memories in where you were rejected from 10 to 20 years old.
All right.
And now invite all the memories from when you were 20 until the present day when you felt rejected.
All right.
And now invite all the people from all these memories to come too. All these people that were connected to you being rejected. Maybe they rejected you. Maybe they were witnesses to you being rejected. Maybe they didn't protect you when you were rejected. So everybody who has anything to do with these memories, may them come at the table and let me know when they're all here.
All right.
And now invite, if you were to know all the thoughts that went through your mind in each of these memories, usually they would be almost the same thoughts that come every time you are rejected. So invite those thoughts just like they would be people at this table too.
Okay.
And now invite all the emotions that you felt each time you were rejected. What emotions, what feelings went through your body?
Did you want me to answer that?
No, just invite them to the table. Each
Okay.
each one at a time, each emotion at a time.
Okay.
Okay? And now invite the need to control, the need to be controlled, the need for safety and security, the need to be right, the need to be seen, and anybody else who comes into your awareness, into your mind, but wasn't at the table already. Is your table full?
Yep, very full.
And now I'm going to ask you three questions. For the first two, the answer is either yes or no, but I don't want you to think. I just want you to say it. And for the last question, the answer is now. So here's the first question. As you look around this table, could you, just for now, let everybody go and disappear into the light?
Yeah.
Would you let everybody go and disappear into the light?
Mm,
It's
yes.
okay to say no. When? The third question. And the
Oh, it
answer
has to
is
be
now.
now.
Yes. And I want you to
No.
observe how certain people, emotions, feelings, or memories are already leaving the table. And we're going to do it again. Could you, if it were easy, to let them all go into the light?
Mm,
Yes or no?
yes.
Would you let them all go into the light?
Yes.
When?
No.
And again, maybe more have left the table already. And we're going to do it again. If it were easy and you felt safe, could you let them go for good?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
And tell me, who is still at the table?
Mm. Is it to tell you who's still at the table?
Yes.
You know that the first thing comes up is my mom,
Okay. Who else?
dad.
Who else?
Mm. Some past friends,
Just one person or more?
multiple.
Okay, how many?
Mm. About three more.
Who else?
Mm. You know, it's funny as you say who else. It's kind of like other memories. Like, oh yeah, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. So who else is still there?
Ex-husband.
Mm-hmm. Who else?
Mm. Past version of myself.
Mm-hmm. How many?
How many past versions of myself?
Yeah.
I don't know, a few.
If you were to know,
Mm. Let's say three.
anybody else?
No.
So we won't have time to go and release them all, but if you were to pick one out of your mom, dad, friend, ex-husband, or versions of yourself, who would you pick to release right now?
Past version of myself.
Okay. So pick one or pick all of them three and ask
Mm.
them, why are you still here?
Mm. Guess some of it has to do with not fully accepting parts of myself.
Hmm. What what aren't you accepting about them?
Mm. Certain past mistakes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
okay. Do
no,
they need your forgiveness? Do they need your love? Ask them, what do you need from me?
really forgiveness.
So I want you to look at them in your mind's eye, and we're gonna do some Honopono. Have you ever done Honoponopono?
Nope, never heard of that.
So that's a forgiveness technique. I'm a practitioner into it. It's a Hawaiian healing technique, and it's
Okay.
just you telling them that there are four affirmations. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So as you're
Mm,
looking towards them, you're telling them, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Are they ready to go? Do they still need more from you?
no.
They're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So normally we would go through every single person that's still at the table. We would ask them, why are you still here? And we would do whatever is needed. Sometimes it's forgiveness, sometimes it's more understanding and coaching and releasing. So it depends in each instance. But since we don't
Mm,
have the time today, I want you to release this fear on others' levels as well. So besides the idea of the fear of being rejected, during this exercise, did anything else showed up?
mm. Just really acceptance. So just accepting things or individuals as they are.
Hmm. It came up as you're able to accept them now, or it came as I want to be able to accept them.
More so, I want to
I
be.
want
I
to.
need
Hmm.
to.
I
Hmm.
need to. Okay. So would you say that it's hard for you to accept them as they were?
Um, Certain aspects, yes.
Hmm.
Like some of it is from lack of understanding.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so when you think about being rejected and this desire to accept past versions of people and yourself and situations, mm, what, mm, why were you rejected? What was one
I said,
thing or that that people rejected in you or about you that we can release?
one of the things that growing up is I tend to be outspoken. My parents
Mm-hmm,
did not like that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It did
So
not.
you were outspoken in what way? Because you can be outspoken with everything and just be, let's say, quote unquote, annoying, or you can speak the truth, but people don't want to hear the truth. So they would label you, that you speak too much or you should shut up.
Um, and my parents is from my parent perspective, was I'm quite rebellious. If I didn't like something, I wasn't just gonna do it because you said to do it. I would demand answers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so is it safe for you to be you now as an adult, as exactly who you are, or you're still afraid of being rejected if you show yourself fully?
I feel like now is more safe to be me.
But are you still censoring yourself in certain aspects?
Oh yeah, sometimes yeah.
What would one aspect be?
Um, like for example, like my mom stays with me, and so sometimes I do censor my mom because because in this moment, it's like she lives with me, but I try my best to not 'cause there's a difference in culture and culture. So certain things that I might not care for, I might tell her no, but within my culture is looking to, it's appeared to be disrespect
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like within my culture, it's kind of like you're, even if you're adult, you're still in your parents' eyes a child, and telling them no, this ain't gonna fly, really do get under their skin.
Mm-hmm. Which is very toxic in a way because you're an adult now, and as an adult, you have free will to say no and to people to respect your no. It's, even as a
Hmm.
child, people should respect your no and teach you that it's healthy to have boundaries. But especially as an adult and with parents, it's very hard. With certain parents, that's very hard because, as you said, it can be a culture thing. It can be a trauma thing. Some people just were raised that way and they cannot change and they don't want to change with their kids. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, would you say that is it safe for you to have boundaries?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not the thing. Because I'm trying to find one specific blog that we can release on other levels, not just fear of being rejected, which is like a big thing. Because if we go into fear of being rejected, as you see, we already found a few areas where we can go into. Uh, is it safe for you to say no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not it then. What do you think would be in this sphere of being rejected that it's not safe for you to be, do, have?
Mm. Right now, nothing particularly comes to mind.
Then I will just
Mm.
work on the fear of being rejected and just release a broader layer, not a specific layer, and then we'll see about that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I do it, I access the theta wave brainwave where I can see everything and there's like no lie, all the truth, past, future, present, and I will ask your permission each step of the way. So be pay attention to what I'm speaking because I won't remember what I'm saying. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna ask for permission. You can say yes or no. If you don't want me to do that release, you just say no, and it's
All right.
perfectly fine. So you can keep your eyes closed and come with me. You do whatever you want to. I will have to have my eyes closed.
Okay.
And I will yawn a lot because as I move energy, I will yawn a lot. So just know what's happening.
Okay.
Okay, so Creator, take me into unconditional love, compassion, and truth in the seventh plane of existence. Hmm. So, Mary, do you give me permission to work on your energy?
Yes.
Thank you. So, Creator, please bring Mary here with us. Is she here? Yes. So, Creator, does Mary have a fear of being rejected? Yes. I command that you release, cancel, and send into God's light this fear of being rejected from Mary, and also identify the root cause of this fear and all the other connected beliefs that are connected to the root cause, all the other feelings, emotions, thought patterns, behaviors, even bacteria or viruses that are inside of her that are, and even parasites that are. They exist in her body just because they feed off this energy. So is that okay with you, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And replace all this that we're extracting with the divine perspective over the situation, the truth, the divine truth that who she is, and that it's safe to be herself, that it's safe to say no, that she knows how to live her life and say no. She knows how to be herself and speak her mind. It's safe for her to speak her mind. She knows how to speak her mind with kindness and compassion. It's safe for her to live her life being herself. She knows how to do that. She knows how to take responsibility for herself and her actions and her words and anything else that she might need from a divine perspective. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay. So, Creator, show me. Was the belief released from Mary's core level? No. Okay, why not? It tells me that you're not ready yet. So let's see why not. Why isn't Mary ready on the mindset level? It says that you need to be more in control to make sure that whatever you're releasing is because you want to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Would you like to, for that to change, or would you like for me not to dig any further with this aspect?
Okay. I would like for To dig further.
Okay. So creator, so Mary, is it okay for you to let go of control and just allow for this belief to be released from your mindset level?
Yes.
Thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. So creator, show me. Was that enough? Did Mary release her fear, her this block from her core level? Yes. Was the belief released from her DNA level? Yes. Was the belief released from her past life level? Yes. Was the belief released from her soul level? No. Let's see why not. Is it a vow? Yes. A promise? No. A commitment? No. A curse? No. So just a vow. Was this vow made in this lifetime? Yes. When? At what age? Was at the age of 9? Okay. Do we need to know what happened? No. Then, Creator, I command that you release, cancel, and consider this vow completed. Mary did the best she could. It helped her to have this vow because it brought her here and it made her strong and powerful. But she no longer needs this because now she can be strong and powerful without the need to build this armor. So she's never going to be rejected. She can deal with rejection because she knows it has nothing to do with her, it has to do with other people, and she's safe being herself. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay, let's see. Where was the block released now from Mary's soul level? Yes. Was it released from Mary's nervous system? No. Okay, why not? So, Mary, do you normally regulate your nervous system?
Yes.
Because it shows me that your nervous system doesn't know, like it's like non-responsive. So that's why I asked because I felt like maybe you don't, or your nervous system is just in freeze mode right now when it comes to rejection because it's literally non-responsive. So let me see what we can do. Creator, what can we do in this situation? It asks for softness. So Creator, could you install more softness into Mary's nervous system and that it's safe to let go and that it's safe to allow and receive, that it's safe to let go of some of the control that she's holding on to. Anything else? No. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Okay, let me check. So, Creator, were now the blocks released from Mary's nervous system? Yes. Were they released from Mary's energy grid? No. Are they stuck in her chakras? Yes. Are they stuck in her meridians? No. So, just chakras. Is it just one chakra? Yes. Which one? Is it the solar plexus? Yes. So, Creator, I command that you release all the stuck energies or the past hurt, all the stubbornness, all the upset energy that is currently stored in Mary's solar plexus chakra. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you, Rita. And replace all this energy with fresh new energy, love, power, vitality, drive, motivation, determination, forgiveness, spirit, light, compassion, anything else that you might need that I haven't mentioned from the divine perspective. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Thank you. It is the creator. Let me check. Was the block released now from Mary's solar plexus? Yes. Was it released from all chakras? Yes. Was it released from her energy grid? Yes. Was it released from her cells? Yes. Was it released from her organs? No. Okay. Which organs store it? Um, is it the windpipe? Yes. Trachea? Yes. Okay, what else? Anything else? No. Okay, interesting. I've never encountered this. So, creator, why would this part of her body have this stored? So it has to do with, is it a physical problem? No. Is it an emotional? Yes. So it has to do with you speaking up. It has to do something with speaking, talking. Creator, what can we do here? Do you sing, Mary?
Nope. I don't sing.
So Creator tells me that it would be beneficial for you to use your voice, like in singing or something, even if you do it in the shower, but to express yourself through music because it will unblock your throat. It needs this exercise.
Okay.
Creator, is there anything else I can tell her about this? No. Would that be enough? Yes. Okay, so let's go. Creator, were the beliefs released from her tissues? Yes. Were the beliefs released from her subconscious? No. Okay, why not? So there's a mix of it's too good to be true and I'm not ready yet. So let's see, Creator, what can we do about this? So I notice with you, there's a lot of need to control. And that's why it's like you need to grasp. I feel like I'm sensing this energy of I need to hold my hands, I need to grasp things and let go only when I want them to be let go. Would you like to soften this?
Yes.
So, Creator, I command that you install into Mary. How does it feel to be supported? And that it's safe to be supported, and that it's safe to let go of 10% of the control that she's currently in the need to have, and that she knows how to do that, and that she feels safe doing that. And I actually want you to imagine the number 10% in your mind's eye and observe it floating away in a balloon, and then to just let go of the balloon. So, Creator, were now the beliefs released from Mary's subconscious? Yes. Okay, so Creator, does Mary now have this the same fear that we worked on, the fear of being rejected? Is it still there? No. Is there anything that I could tell her? No. Mary, do you have any questions for me in this state?
No.
Okay. So then, imagine yourself coming down from, let's say, the sky, and as you come down, I want you to wash yourself through the light, just like you would take a shower, but it would be a light. And you're going to enter your crown chakra and go into the middle of the earth and come back into your heart chakra. And whenever you feel ready, you can open then your eyes.
Okay.
So, how was this type of release?
Quite different. Quite interesting.
Hmm. What was interesting or different? What do you want to tell me about how it felt for you?
Um, for instance, like we share very little through our communication, and the fact that you said my need to um be in control, that's definitely a very, very strong part of me.
Hmm.
It's actually something that I'm learning to release, learning to
Hmm.
let go, try
Hmm.
always knowing where, like, being in that driver's seat.
Hmm.
And so, and when you were saying 9 years old, one other thing I thought to myself, hmm, what, 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 what happened at 9? There's certain interesting things that happen at 9, but one of the things, 9, that's actually not 9 years old. 9 years ago is when my late husband passed
Hmm.
away, and so
Oh,
that
wow.
and that is like a big, within a week from now, it's going to be 9 years since he
Oh, wow.
passed, and so that kind of
Wow.
like really, and a lot of my, when you said the freeze, and 9 years ago, that when I feel like that was when a part of me just emotionally definitely had to like freeze, like, because at that time, um I went from being um a mom, wife to widow,
Hmm.
and I had to wear, and I still wear, multiple hats. And it's been an interesting 9 years.
Hmm.
And so when you said 9 years old, and I was like, there's some interesting that things that happened nine when I was 9 years old, but that
I could
nine,
have
but
I could have been wrong. So, let's say for the future, if you ever do this again, definitely you can ask, say 9 years old or 9 years ago, if you already know, because then I can ask more details. Because I, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I always ask, do I need to know what happened? And
Mm-hmm.
when the answer is yes, then I go deeper, what happened? And I ask, what was the memory, the situation that we need to address? And sometimes we don't. Like in this case, it was not needed. So why was it not needed? I don't know. I don't like to go deep into people's trauma, especially not live.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially that not it's not needed. Like I believe that we can release certain things without the need to prod, but there are certain
Mm-hmm.
things that we need to prod more because I see that. Like I literally see that we need to. So for whatever happened on a soul level, it wasn't you made a vow. Something I didn't even ask what vow it was. I personally I wasn't curious, but it had to do with being rejected. So what I saw was an armor. Like that's what I saw. I saw that the vow was about you putting on a strong armor. So you won't be rejected anymore. So you won't suffer anymore due to rejection. And I released the vow because that was no longer needed. I was like, it's no longer needed to have this vow, it's no longer needed to have this armor. It's safe for you to be you and be safe being, even if you're rejected, you're still safe because you know who you are and has nothing to do with you per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always fascinated to hear how people experience it because it's very deep. It's very unique. I've never seen anybody do it. I wish people would do it because it was so nice for me to actually receive the same support and not having to offer it myself. Because sometimes I just like to be supported myself, if it makes sense. But it's very deep and usually not usually, all the time reality shifts in the next, but you will notice it in the next couple of days or even 1, 2 weeks. For me personally, I see it usually after a week when I see it like it's like night and day. And I'm like, oh my God. So this happened. Like 2 weeks ago, I know I worked on my masculine energy and there was one fear that I released. Like a couple of days later, my dad sent me money, which my dad doesn't send me money. Like I haven't received money from my dad like maybe once every couple of years. And especially like he didn't even say anything. It was not like, here's money for this situation, or here's money for, I don't know, buy yourself this, or is your birthday, or so to me, that was like, oh my God, like this work is amazing. Because it was tied exactly to what I worked on the masculine, not being supported by the masculine energy. That was the fear that I worked on. Because I'm myself the provider, so I have to be feminine and masculine. I have to provide masculine. So I've never felt safe receiving from the masculine because I never had
Mm-hmm.
that, let's say, opportunity. And boom, the next couple of days it happened. And sometimes it happens how long it's going to take. But if you have the awareness, so if you have done lots of work on yourself and you're very aware of the things around you, of your emotions, of your thoughts, of all these things, you're definitely going to see a big manifestation happening. And when you do, please DM me because I'm always curious to see how things shift and how do they show up in reality.
Yeah, definitely. Like I find it to be interesting. So I'll definitely keep you posted, keep you in the loop.
And now in our ending, I want you to tell us what are you selling right now and how can people start working with you? Where can they find you?
So my Instagram handle, Coach Mary Paul, and I help busy women take better, prioritize their health and lose weight.
And what is your program? Because you said you have a program. So tell us about your program.
So it's 16 weeks one-on-one coaching to just help women first identify the areas in which they want support, they want to change and really customize nutrition support and workout um, to be able to help them make those changes and start to see those benefits and what it means to take care of yourself and lose weight.
Awesome. So you're helping them lose weight, put themselves first, eat healthier, eat better, be healthier because they eat better and they exercise, of course.
Move
Look
more
better
and move more.
and move more. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. So everybody who's a mom and is like, oh my God, that's me. I need that. Definitely follow Coach Mary and DM her and start working with her because she would definitely be able to help you. As for me, if you want to do this kind of releases, I do this with my clients in every single session. So we have about an hour where we just do coaching and we do strategy and we do usually business coaching and capacity holding and nervous system tracking because we track the nervous system with a smartwatch and based on the numbers, then we make changes. And then the last half an hour of each session, we release whatever fears we encountered during our session. So it may be usually we have a plan and then people implement that plan and then they get triggered by life and situation and they come to me in our sessions and then we release those triggers because we identify those fears and we release them on all levels. So if that's
Okay.
you and you're like, oh my God, that sounds like I really want to have somebody to release my fears for me every 2 weeks so that I can move on. Because what happens, the result is you just act faster. You're no longer, as I mentioned with me, I was rejected last week and it took me a couple of days to start acting again, to take action again, because I was like sore. Well, when you release that, you no longer, you move much faster, not after each. Because if I wouldn't have released my own rejection fear, then if this week I get rejected, it would take another 3 days to get back on the horse, and then next week another 3 days. And it's like, why keep living like that? No, I observed that's my fear. I got triggered. I identified the root cause. I released it. So now if I get rejected this week, it doesn't affect me. Or
Okay.
maybe it's going to
So
affect me very little. So I don't want to be absurd because sometimes, depending on the situation, it can still affect you, especially if you're on your period or something, you're more emotional, but you can still take action much, much faster. So if
so
that's you, sorry.
oh no, I was gonna say, do you have like what kind of program you have? How exactly do you?
So this year, I only want to focus on one-on-one coaching. So I meet with, I do a free diagnosis. So I would meet with you, talk about your business to see what services you sell, how much have you sold, what's your money goal, what's your capacity. So how much time do you have, how much energy do you have to spend? So we can create a plan that would work for you and your specific reality. And this is what I do for free. So this is the first call. We create this plan for free because I want to make sure that as I'm getting to know the client, I'm sure that I can help them or not, because I don't work with everybody, of course, as you know, we work with people who are
Hmm.
ideal for us. And
Yes.
then
Hmm.
based as I get to know them, then I create a personalized offer for them. So I have my main offer, which I mentioned, which is for usually clients who work with me at least once, because and then we pick and choose like, oh, do you need nervous system tracking? Let's add that. Do you need DM coaching every week? Let's add that. Do you need like this? Do you need this part? So I explain to them all parts of my methodology, and then we pick and choose either all of them because they're all in the like, I need all and I'm ready for it, or we just pick a few and then I create the offer based on what they picked. And the purpose is to get them to 10K cash months. So that's our, let's say, our initial physical goal. Like we're going to create a strategy if they don't have it. Some people have already a business coach, so I don't work with them on the strategy. I just work with them on how can we simplify for you to have a bigger capacity at home so that you're not overwhelmed by too much things that you're doing, or add systems, or that's usually what I do. If not, if they don't have a business coach, then I create a strategy with them. We implement it together. And as they get triggered by life, as I mentioned, we constantly get triggered. It's impossible not to. They come to me and we release it. And we meet every 2 weeks. And usually I have a DM check-in every single week. And that's very nice because it's a whole day of coaching almost. So we share like, so tell me what we're celebrating this week and tell me what's not working this week. So then I would coach them, or I can give them advice. Like for example, let's say last week a client, what we talked a lot last week with one of my clients. Normally we don't, it's not a lot of back and forth because they ask me, hey, I have a problem with this, help me resolve it. And in the two voice message, I resolve it. And other times we talk a lot. So she was very triggered around past coaches and money and investing and all that. So I had to coach her through multiple things, and then she would reply, and it was just a back and forth all day, and it was beautiful. Like she got a lot of support, and that's what we do every week because I want to make sure that my clients don't wait until they meet with me 2 weeks after 2 weeks, to solve their problems. Like we can, hey, this week I got triggered because I don't know, I didn't sell anything. Okay, let's talk about it. Why didn't you sell anything? Or what did you do that didn't work? Well, I didn't do anything. Why didn't you do anything? Well, because I didn't have time. Why didn't you have time? So this is what we do in our check-ins until we meet again. And if it's something that requires releasing, I would make a note, and then when we meet, we would release that. I'm like, okay, we need to release this fear because you mentioned it in our check-in. So that's very important for me. We also have a VIP day before we get started to create the whole strategy. So again,
Okay.
depending on if they have a coach or not already, again, this is all the personalized.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
Does that
Cool.
sound
Yeah.
good or exciting?
No, that definitely sounds really awesome. I'll definitely reach out to you. I'm gonna see how the next week go, and then I'll reach out and I'll connect with you, and then we'll talk further because I
Awesome,
think it's really
awesome.
I think it's really
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I look forward to meeting you in a free call too, because now I know you a little bit and I saw a few patterns of yours. I'm like, I already know certain things
Oh.
that I could definitely help. So everybody, thank you so, so much for being here with us. Thank you for sharing the space. I hope the somatic release helped you so you don't have the fear of being rejected so strong so you can take action and be you because the world needs more people who are themselves, exactly who they are. No need to censor. Even if you are whoever you are, that somebody needs exactly that exact flavor. Not everybody. Somebody needs that. And if you're yourself, then you're gonna give permission to other people to be themselves. And nobody has to be a copy paste of other people and only ask or be or behave or look a certain way because that's the only way. No, we are all very amazing human beings who need to be ourselves, and we're all going to feel better when we're ourselves. We're going to have more energy. By the way, whenever we're authentically us, we have more energy. We feel better when we say no, when we say the hard truth, when we hold our boundaries. We have more energies because our body feels seen and it's supporting us. When we don't have energy is also because something we're suppressing. We're suppressing how we act, how we look, or how we uh, speak. So this is just like a huge aha I had in the past week. Like it was like it hit me, like it literally hit me. So
Okay, well, thank you so much. I know we have a few hours in time difference because I'm Eastern time zone.
yes, yes, it's. I'm gonna go make dinner now. So
What's the time zone where you at?
so for right now for me it's 7:25 p.m.
Yeah, okay. It's 1:25 for me here.
Yeah. So for you it's like lunchtime, and for me it's dinner time.
Mm, you're in the future.
Yeah, you're speaking. Oh, that's so funny. Yes, exactly.
All right, well, good
Oh,
night and thank you.
my pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.